Okay, good morning. This is a video. This is a little break from the human trafficking. That's a series. But I just want to do a quick touch up on this about the PPP loans. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, allowances is made fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. Fair use is the use permitted by the copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Okay, we got to talk about this here. This PPP loans, this is what it really stands for. And what it stands for, PPP, putting people in prison. This is a mighty setup to snare black people. Okay, that's what this is. The mighty setup, the snare to trap black people. Because if you sit here and look, you see up to 90% of minority and women owners were shut out of this program. And this is by Megan Krulo with Money Watch. And this was updated last year, 2020. So this is what we got going on here. Most of that money overwhelmingly went to white men. It just goes to show you the systemic functions of our government and our society. But you got a lot of people out here doing these PPP loans that are being lied to, being misled. And I'm going to tell you, folks, you're going to end up in prison. You're going to end up in prison. Federal prison is where folks going to end up at. In prison. Because I'm going to tell you, you do those loans. I know some people who have done it. And I was telling people not to do it. I said, because you're going to get caught up. You're going to crash and burn. Boom. You're going to crash and burn. In prison. Don't do those loans. People need to understand. That loan is for business owners who were affected by COVID. That paycheck protection was for them to be able to pay their employees during COVID. But you got a lot of people out here doing fraud. Some was intentional. Some people would just walk right into it, not even realizing. Some people had misunderstandings about what this program was really all about. But this was about for current business owners. If you got 10, 12, 30, 50 employees, however many, you're going to have to show proof that you got those employees. They're going to want to see all the driver's license, all the IDs, the W-2s, the W-4s, pay history, paychecks, all of that, tax records, their names, their social security numbers, their addresses, how long they've been working for you, when did they get hired. They're going to want to see resumes. They're going to want to see everything. If you can't prove that you had a business prior to COVID, now COVID kicked off in March 2020. And they started with this program. This was updated since April 2020. Most of that money was going to white men. As we can see, 90%, up to 90% of minority and women owners was shut out. Shut out of the Paycheck Protection Program. That's what the experts fear. No, that's what they know. Because that's what pops off. That's what's going on. If anybody approach you about anything, if anybody say, hey, I can help you do your paperwork, anybody come charging you, I can do it for $3,000, or I can do it for $1,500 or whatever, $800 or whatever it is, it's a scam. It's a scam. Don't fall for it. They knew this was going to happen. Because see, the government gave a lot of money. You got to really look at this. Now, they didn't even want to give us stimulus money. They fought like hell to keep from giving us stimulus money. They didn't want to give us those stimulus checks. Now all of a sudden they got this PPP money. They're gonna want that money back. They're gonna find a way to get that money back. You could go online. They have a list of everybody who took out that PPP loan. I don't know if you guys are aware of this. I'm just doing a brief touch on this. So if you know anybody who's done this, you might want to talk to them. They might want to look into getting an attorney to say they can get themselves out of this mess. Because the more you borrowed, the more you took, the higher chance of you ending up here in prison. I know some people who took out $100,000, $2.3 million, all kind of crazy stuff. Some people don't even know. You apply for this program. You don't know if you qualify. You might not qualify for it. You don't realize it. Because when they first came up with this program, there was no real understanding, who will qualify for this program, what it would take you to qualify, whatever. But a lot of people just jumped on board and started paying people all this money to do their applications. People pushing that stuff through. People are getting arrested, ladies. The feds are knocking on doors. They're knocking on doors. Yes, ma'ams. They're knocking on doors now. They coming at folks. And I'm going to tell you something about being in federal prison. When you in Fed, you're going to do about 85% or more of your time. They don't have no parole. You're going to do that 85, 90%. It's not worth it. If you're on Section 8, disability, Social Security, if you're on any of that, state unemployment, if you're on Link or any of these programs, project-based, whatever it is. If you're on any of these programs, GR, if you're on any of these programs and you're out here applying for these loans, you're going to get popped. Oh, and I'm going to tell you something. If any of you ladies are out here doing applications for people to get this money, you're going to go down on the same train too. Everybody's going down on the A train. Because when these folks get popped, they're going to ask who helped them do the paperwork. What do you think those folks are going to say? You think they're going to sit up there and bend over by themselves? You think they're going to just go ahead and say, well, I did it? No, they're going to name who did the paperwork. And then the feds going to come knock, knock, knock. They're going to come knocking at your door too. Feds going to come and knocking. Anybody who partook in any way, shape, or form in collecting this PPP, you're going to be put in prison. People, you're going to be going down. Down for the count. I just want to make this known and put this out there. This PPP business is serious. EDD, all these programs, they put them out there. They just started throwing money out there because they knew people are desperate. I think the whole thing with the stimulus checks, why they made it so hard to get stimulus checks and want to give out stimulus checks, the stimulus checks were nothing more than a carrot to be dangled in front of you, and they played on people's desperation. They didn't want to give stimulus check $1,200, a little measly $1,200 check. They didn't want to give. Didn't want to give it, but they toss out all this PPP money. EDD was giving out an extra $600 a week on top of your base benefit amount. You had a lot of fraud going on there. People need to understand this is why you do Fed time, because whether it's local money, county money, state money, it's all backed by the federal government. That's the original jurisdiction of all money. So when you defraud the government, you go in federal prison for that. And the IRS gonna be coming knocking. IRS is federal last time I checked, unless I'm mistaken. And if I am, I stand corrected, ladies. So if you know anybody, they're at present, they're not doing any more of the loans, so they say. Yet, word on the street, and from what I've been hearing, people are still applying for these PPP loans. We're still in the pandemic because now we got the Delta variant. Now the CDC, is now coming up with recommendations. You used to go maskless, right? You used to go without a mask. Not anymore. Now they're saying you need to wear a mask if you're out in public places. You need to wear a mask. So, if these numbers are creeping back up, with this pandemic we're in, they're going to start doing this again. Going to start doing this PPP. All this stuff may start back up again as these numbers increase. We're still going to be having this 90% shutout. White men got the lion's share of all that PPP money. They got the lion's share of it, ladies. The PPP, they got the lion's share of it. But they're not going to end up here. The only ones they're going after, black people, number one, of course. And they're going after certain immigrants. If you took out millions, one guy filed 75 claims, dealt with 8 different lenders, and got like $24 million. This Asian guy. $24 million. So this is what's going on. So if you know anybody that's doing these loans or trying to get any other kind of business loan, just be careful. If you try to get a loan, go to SBA. Go on their website. Check out what they're talking about. There's different programs that are out here. You could contact your State Department of Consumer Affairs. You could contact the State Bar. They got lawyers listed there that work pro bono, which means they work for free. You can probably go and see them and get free consultation to see, should you even do this? What does this qualify? How can I get into these programs without ending up here? You got to talk to somebody. You can talk to an accountant or somebody. Speak to somebody who knows something. If you know you don't have a business, if you know you didn't have a business in 2018 or prior, if you know you didn't have a business before COVID, don't even mess around with this. Say you start up a business in 2020. Do you qualify for PPP? Maybe, maybe not. This is why you have to talk to people. What if you apply for your business 6 months before this started and you had your business up and running? Do you qualify? Or did you have your business up and running right at the start of the pandemic? Do you qualify? These questions need to be answered. You need to know. Because they're locking people up. I'm seeing it every day. See it on the news, videos, the whole 9 yards. People are sending me information. People are being locked up. The A train is running 24/7 right about now. And a lot of people are going to be going down on that train too. This is what's going on. Hopefully none of you guys got involved in this PPP situation here. I hope and pray you didn't. I hope any of your friends or family members or whomever you know, I hope they didn't get themselves involved in this here. I hope nobody you know or yourselves. I hope none of y'all didn't prepare documentation for people, filling out people's application, doing the paperwork. I hope you didn't get into it, because online, on the internet, they have, they call it a PPP list. You can see everybody's name, their home address, the amount of money they got for the PPP loan, what lender they used, and what bank the money was deposited in. It's on the internet for everybody to see it. This is serious business. So now they know just where to find you. They know just where to find you. So many people did that loan. You know, you got people have beauty shops or whatever, or was doing hair out of their house or whatever they were doing. You had folks that was operating as independent contractors was doing this here. If you ain't got proof of no employees, because see, the IRS is going to want to know. You contact the IRS, or they're going to audit you. They want to see everything. And they have 10 years, okay? If they don't catch you now, 5, 10 years and now they can still come get you. Statute limitation for auditing or going after you for a fraudulent loan. Actually, I take that back. If you committed fraud, there is no statute of limitation. If it's legitimate, they have 10 years. It's a lot to do with that RICO situation, that RICO statute. That's what it comes from, that RICO statute. But if you committed fraud, they could come after you at any time. They'll start sending you letters. You ignore them, they'll send you a letter that says intent to levy. Levy means to wipe, to take out, to remove, to collect, to remove from your bank account. Yeah, when they talk about levying, that means they get ready to wipe out your bank account. Don't ignore them. And I'm going to tell you, better check and see on that list if any of your friends or anybody you know that's on there, so you can have a talk with them, so they could try to get their ducks in order some kind of way. Because I'm going to tell you what's going to be going on too, ladies. People going to get funk nasty with this. Say you got friends on Section 8 and did this. And your friends, and they got some enemies. People don't like them. You don't think people are going to report them to Section 8? That they did their PPP loan? Or if they're on a job, report their job or whatever the case may be. If they're on GR welfare, Social Security, disability, SSI. You own anything and you apply for this loan, saying you have a business and you got 50 employees and all that stuff, you're going to lose your benefits. Can end up homeless. You get any kind of subsidies in any way, shape, or form, those subsidies are in jeopardy. Folks going to be telling on people. Folks going to be ratting folks out. You got people, they just been waiting. You got people that just going to be, it's going to get real messy. People going to be telling on people, snitch if you will, People are going to be doing it. You're going to have people who were salty because you had that money and you wouldn't give them no money or wouldn't give them anything or buy them nothing. They look and see your name on that list, they're going to turn your ass in. They're going to be turning folks in. People's own family members and friends are going to be turning in on them and turn them in a report. They mad because you're on Section 8 and they ain't, and they're not on it. They're going to turn around and pull your name up, your name pop up, they'll print that mess out. And sitting that right in to housing authority. And then you'll lose your voucher. You'll lose your housing assistance. They'll report that shit to Social Security if you on Social Security or disability or whatever your source of income is. You're gonna have some dirty birdies that's gonna be sitting up there telling on people. You're gonna have people out here doing that, telling on people. And I'm gonna tell you something else, ladies. You might want to check and make sure your name on it. Make sure that nobody commit fraud against you and did this under your name. And you check, and if your name, if there's nothing popping up under your name, do a screenshot or print that shit out. Print that document. Excuse my French, but you want to print that document out so you can have that to show that you did not partake in this nonsense. People are going to be going to prison. Yes, they are. I just want to share this little bulletin here. I'm still working on our human trafficking series. Sorry it's been taking so long with putting up more content. It's been a very busy month last month. It's been pretty trying. And now with this PPP thing, I've been checking for all my siblings to make sure none of them did this. So, just saying, you know anybody who may have did this, or if you helped somebody yourself do people's paperwork, anybody come asking you, can you do my paperwork? Don't you do nothing. You tell them to contact the SBA. That's how you tell them. You tell them to contact State Department of Consumer Affairs. You tell them to contact the Bar Association. They got a list of lawyers that work pro bono. You can get some free counseling and talk to somebody. Find out if you should do this. Find out if you qualify, and if you do, how to go about it. Don't get these yo-yos out here on the street charging you all this money. So if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. Please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you and have a wonderful day. Oh, and by the way, ladies, happy 4th of July.